America, what a year it has been for you. This election has been like a world-ending event ripped straight off the Bible. Heck, I wouldn't even be surprised if this is an event of some bullshit future religion. Well, that is if there is a future at all. Because we all know what happens when you leave the nuclear codes with a trigger-happy monkey. Yeah, not a very good idea. The world is already experiencing one of those. Not that I'm saying Trump is like Kim Jong-un, only that I wouldn't put it past him to launch a nuke on someone who didn't retweet his tweet.
And that's right, I'd blow up the pipes, I'd blow up the I'd blow up every single inch, there would be nothing left.
No, but Judgment Day has now passed and the American people have chosen the idiot over the crook. Whether that was a better choice for the country, we don't know. But what we can do is look back at previous American presidents to get an idea of what Donald Trump could be like as a president. Now, you may be thinking, how could there have possibly been someone like Trump? But you'd be surprised. When comparing Trump with a previous president, there's one that sticks out more than a Mexican at a Trump rally, and that man is Warren G. Harding. Here are a few similarities between Trump and Warren G. For one, both unfit to be president, to an extent. Both not a huge fan of immigration. And most of all, they are both serial womanizers. Seriously, Warren Harding embraced his role as president with his dick more than he did with his head. I mean, this was a guy who brought a woman to the White House for regular rendezvous just so he could f*** her in the closet, which I hope they replaced. Otherwise, that would mean that every president since 1920 has been in contact with his sperm, which would technically put him on par with a porn star, as that would mean that 15 people have been on camera with his cum. About to be 16 now. Yeah, I feel bad for the first person who replaced him. He got more load than the rest did. No, but to be fair to Warren G, he was practically the George Clooney of the early 20th century. He was considered extremely handsome for that time, irresistible to women, just like Donald Trump is today. So it's no surprise that he would have women throwing themselves at his feet, one of which was younger than 16. And boy, this girl was so obsessed with him to the point that it was borderline creepy. I mean, this girl would camp out of his building just to catch a glimpse of him walking home from work. Basically, she was the first ever believer. But the question is, did he take advantage of her? And well, no he didn't. But that was probably because he was too busy f***ing his neighbor's wife at the time. This guy couldn't control himself. I mean, these are legitimately his word. It's a good thing I'm not a woman. I would always be pregnant. I can't say no. And well, he couldn't say no to the obsessed believer forever. Because once she finished high school, Quagmire over here decided that it was finally time for him to take his virginity away from her. And well, a few years later, the girl got pregnant with his daughter. Which I mean, damn. He f***s his neighbor's wife and his friend's daughter. What did he say to wrap these women around these fingers so easily? And well, all of his tactics were made public in 2014.
1,000 pages of notes, not to Harding's wife, but to his mistress, will be released online by the Library of Congress at the end of this month.
As John Oliver put it himself, these weren't love letters, they were smutty notes. They contained such poetic masterpieces as, wouldn't you like to get sopping wet on Superior? Not the lake. For the joys of forever fondling and melting kisses. Wouldn't you like to make expected occupant of the next room jealous of the joys he could not know? Warren was quite the lyricist, wasn't he? With those bars, he would easily put Kendrick Lamar to shame. Let's read another one. Jerry. You recall Jerry? He told me to say that you are the best and darlingest in the world. By the way, Jerry was the name of his penis. If he could have but one wish, it would be to be held in your darling embrace and be thrilled by your pink lips that convey the surpassing rapture of human touch and the unspeakable joys of love's surpassing embrace. Wow! Bars! And for those who didn't understand the content of the letter, just simply go and watch porn because this would easily pass off as that.
Jerry, you recall Jerry? He told me that you are the best and darlingest in the world. And if he could have but one wish, it would be to be held in your darling embrace and be thrilled by your pink lips.
I bet to him writing this was the equivalent of making a sex tape. And this was probably his version of sending nudes.
Okay, man. You can see I have yielded and written myself into a wild desire. I could beg, and Jerry came.
He was pretty good as a poet, don't you think? But as a president, this guy was an ineffective and indecisive leader who was too busy playing poker and grabbing women by the pussy to notice that his friend was stealing from the country. Yeah, he was shit. Let's just hope for the sake of the world that Donald Trump is better than him. Hey, you never know. He might end up being the greatest president of all time.
You serious?